You hear that sound? If you listen closely, you'll hear a grinding. Want to know what that is? Stay tuned for Food Corner. I'll tell you. So I just pulled up to a location here and I have my man Jeff Vadine. He's from Cutting Board Resurfacing, and he actually resurfaces cutting boards when they start to go. He does maintenance on them, reshapes them, actually builds new cutting boards. So stick with me. I'm gonna go check him out and let you see what he does, and some cool stuff's about to happen. Here we go. Okay, so we're here with Jeff Vadine of Cutting Board Resurfacing. And so, Jeff, how long have you been doing this? How did you get into it?
We started about 11 years ago when I bought the company from a retired sanitarian who had developed a process to actually shave off the cutting boards and make them look like new for a fraction of the cost of buying new ones. And when I bought the company, we didn't have very many customers at all, and we've built it into quite a successful business now. We're serving a lot of the supermarkets, restaurants, country clubs, resorts, and hotels here in the valley. All the commercial kitchens have cutting boards, plastic cutting boards, and we will go just about anywhere and take care of them.
Okay. What's the benefit of them utilizing your services or what you do?
Well, there's quite a few. I mean, our goal is to be proactive, and we want to come on in and shave off their plastic cutting boards, removing all of the contamination and things that have developed over them over the course of using them in the past 6 months or so. So today we're serving one of our partners in the grocery business, and this is a typical cutting board, 3/4 inch thick board that goes on one of their lines, and you can see that it's got some burn marks, a few scrape marks, and a lot of cut marks on it. We're going to be able to shave that right off, just taking off a few thousandths of an inch at a time as it goes through our machine, and it'll reveal brand new plastic, and then we will bevel the edges around those corners and then make it look like new for a fraction of the cost. So we are a proactive company that try to partner with all of our customers to help them extend the lifespan of the cutting boards and keep them clean, non-porous, and sanitary. And we do that by shaving them off using a proprietary method and make them smooth, non-porous, and cleanable again.
Okay. All right, excellent. So later on, would you show us some of the boards, like what they look like before
Absolutely.
and after? Okay, excellent. So you've been doing this a long time. What is it that you love about what you do?
Well, I love the fact that we are able to go to all these different places right on site and help them out. They get a big wow factor out of it because it looks like a brand new kitchen each time that we're there, and we get the satisfaction of knowing that we've helped them on out and have kept the customers, all the public, more healthy through removing that contamination that may cause them to get sick.
Okay. Now I see your gents back here bring in multiple size cutting boards. What are the sizes that you do? How much do you charge? All that good stuff, if you can tell me
Yeah, we do boards up from 3 feet or 30 inches wide to 120 inches long. So we can go from 30 inches to 10 foot and run them through the machine. most of the cutting boards are a lot smaller than that because, let's face it, it is really hard to clean a big cutting board like that. We run into those in the big meat processing plants that we deal with. But for the most restaurants and things, we're using 18 by 24 inch boards. 24 by 48s is one of the bigger ones. But they have to be able to reach out and cut on the board and then take it and put it into their sink and clean it. So they don't need anything really huge. Most people stay in one spot. They maybe can survive with an 18 by 24 inch board. And we always teach them that less is more. The less plastic you have in the kitchen, the probability of it staying cleaner and longer is much higher. All right, I wanted to show you something because this is one of the problems that we encounter quite a bit in the field. We see that a board is fairly thick on the edges. It's a good size thickness, but at some point they use this board so much, and the chopping process, going back and forth and cutting, it starts to wear out the plastic, and you get a trough built up here where food can collect and the plastic is actually removed. This board was used so much that this board is basically paper thin. They actually punched through it. It's probably less than a millimeter right here. And so by resurfacing it with our machine, it makes it nice and smooth all the way across. It keeps the thickness the same so that you don't have pooling of juices and other contamination, and it makes it last a lot longer. That's the key to resurfacing. This board, if you look real closely, also was sanded. It's one of the worst things you can do because it creates the exact same microgrooves you were trying to get rid of in the first place, where bacteria can live. Bacteria can live in the smallest places, less than a micron, but our sanitizers can't reach down in there and actually sanitize them. So by running it through our machine, we create a smooth, non-porous, and cleanable surface, which is required by the health code. When a board starts out brand new, it's basically either a ½ inch or 3/4 of an inch thick, which is nice and solid. We only use the highest grade, food grade material available, and there's only one maker of that material here in the United States that uses the same stuff for commercially purchased boards, and that's Carlisle. But we can make our own boards. This is a raw board, so it hasn't been beveled or the corners rounded, but that's one of the things that we do as well. One problem that we find quite often is the storage, the way that boards are stored. And if they're stored flat like this, water is not really allowed to air dry, especially when you start stacking other boards on top of it. And quite often mold can start to grow on these boards. That's something you definitely do not want to have your food cut on when it's served to you. So we encourage people to store them upright like this. But this board has also got a problem too, in that it's injection molded plastic instead of what we call extruded plastic. There's a big difference in the density of these plastics, and one of the injection molded board definitely will cause problems where it will cut a lot easier and start to slough off plastic. In fact, show you one of these boards over here, and you're able to zoom in a little bit, you can start to see where plastic is missing. And it's definitely, I think I have a better example of it right over here as well. Where here, on this board, there's even big chunks missing. Where's that plastic going, folks? Is it going in our food sources? Chances are pretty good. And when you cut on these injection molded boards, it gets really hollowed out. So where is it all going? And that's something I think we need to consider. It will happen eventually with even the highest grade plastics, but a lot slower. And when we get in here and resurface them on a regular basis, then that stops that process from happening and allows the chef to cook and prepare the foods a lot better and without as much plastic coming off onto the food. So those are some of the key things that I thought I would point out to you.
So what about civilians? Can we bring our boards to you?
You know, it doesn't make much sense, but we do encourage anybody that calls us, if they want to see what we do and want to bring over their cutting boards, we'll run them through. And it's just $5 a square foot. That covers both sides of the cutting board. So for your average 18-inch by 24-inch cutting board, it's 3 square feet, linear square feet on one side. That makes it $15. And we do both sides. We bevel the edges around the corners so that it makes them all smooth and you know, not very sharp, in case you might cut yourself while trying to wash them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of benefits that folks get out of using your services. They get cool, clean cutting boards.
Yeah.
You service a lot of folks around the valley. You love what you do. You love what you do. How long are you going to do it? I mean,
as long as we can. You know,
Okay.
I think that this is something that's needed all over the nation, not just here in Arizona, and we also service Southern California with another truck similar to this one. But we're in the process of expanding, and you know, but it just takes time. It's hard as a small business owner to manage that growth and do it right. And that's our main goal, is making sure that our partners are happy with what we're doing and that we're able to service them in a timely and efficient manner. And it's a balancing act, as every small business owner will tell you.
Absolutely.
One thing that we're really proud of is our professional affiliations. We're members of the Better Business Bureau and have a 5-star rating from them, which makes us very proud. We also are members of the Arizona Restaurant Association and also the Environmental Health Association in Arizona. Now, they're not allowed to promote us, but we are members so that we can show them what we do and help them to understand the importance of keeping the cutting boards clean. We're also members of the American Culinary Federation.
Jeff, what happens with all the trimmings and the waste that comes from the cutting boards?
That's a great question. One of the things that it goes through the vacuum system and comes out as these very thin pieces, which are less than 0.04 of an inch thick. But it's a lot of extra waste. We generate quite a few bags at each job that weigh probably close to 40 pounds. And bottom line is our tagline has always been resurface, reduce, reuse. And by that we mean, by resurfacing the plastic, you're able to reduce the amount of new plastic that you're going to have to buy, and then we can reuse it in the store quite a few times and keep our customers from having to buy new ones. But one of the goals this year is we've brought on board with us an intern from Northern Arizona University in the Environmental Sustainability Program this summer. And his job is going to be to find a way that we can recycle this material so that we can add that into our logo and our tagline. We want to be able to close the loop and keep this plastic out of the landfill. Right now, we're making it in a more compressible form that is, you know, better for the landfill, but it's still not keeping it out of the landfill. There has to be a use for this. It's number 2 HDPE, and it should be able to be recycled and melted down and made into frisbees or dog bowls or something. Hopefully we'll be able to figure out how to do that at the end of the summer.
Okay, so Jeff, thank you for taking us through your truck and letting us see a lot of the cool stuff that you're doing. If folks want to reach out to you or contact you, what do they need to do?
Yeah, the best way to find out what we do is to go onto our website at cuttingboardresurfacing.com. And on that website, you can find our direct phone number. It's 623-444-5645. And if they want to reach us through email, they can reach us at cuttingboardresurfacing@gmail.com. Those are the best ways to reach us and to find out more about it. Our website has more information than anybody probably ever wants to know about cutting board and resurfacing.
Excellent. Well, I want to thank you for letting me come out and see what you do. I appreciate you taking the time to spend some time with me here on Food Corner, and maybe sometime in the future we can come out and see you again.
Absolutely, Dr. James. We appreciate the opportunity to serve you.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Thanks for joining me for this episode of Food Corner. As you can see, Jeff is doing some really cool stuff out there. He's doing the edging thing. He's trimming things down. He talked a little bit about what to do with the waste that actually comes from the trimming of the cutting boards. So if you have any cool ideas, reach out to him on his website. Check him out. Make sure you stay tuned to Food Corner. I'll try and keep the good videos coming. Some more cool stuff coming up next week. Stick with me and see you next time.